Since year 12, I knew I wanted to do an apprenticeship and didn't want to go to university. I wanted a more focused environment to do my learning. An apprenticeship offered me the route to be able to continue my learning without just going into work. It's worked out ideally for me.
For any organisation that's considering apprenticeships, I believe it's an absolute must, and it's such an integral and important part of any business. It's a real great opportunity to really support young people coming into the organisation, but also it's an opportunity to support existing individuals in terms of their development.
Uni's necessary for some people, but for me, I always wanted to do an apprenticeship and it's been the perfect route and I couldn't recommend it enough. So my name's Ben Sheehan, I'm 22 years old. I work at Sanctuary Group in Worcester and I'm assistant buyer in the indirects procurement team. So before my apprenticeship, I had just finished my A-levels in maths, physics and geography. I started as a level 2 business administration apprentice, and then from that moved into my level 4 apprenticeship and then into an assistant buyer role. You think coming in into a level 2 apprenticeship, that sounds very basic considering I'd finished A-levels, but actually what it did was help me understand the business and how all the business works before obviously moving on to doing more advanced things. And it's been really enjoyable learning about the business and getting involved in really into the details of procurement. It's been perfect progression so far.
So we utilise apprentices really strongly within our teams to look at where there are those opportunities for development and succession, and really thinking about workforce planning of how we can plan for the future where we have got skills gaps and we can really look at how we can fill that. So within our organisation, we've got around 13,000 staff, and it is such a broad organisation with a lot of different specialisms and disciplines. And so what's really important to us, as within any organisation, is that we're really planning ahead for the future. So really understanding what the workforce needs are now and in the future. So what that means is that we're looking continually at what's the makeup of a particular team, what staffing structure does that have, and where are apprentices within that structure, but also not just thinking about the here and now, but really planning ahead to think about what's that workforce plan for the future. So in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years plus, what does that structure look like, and really how can we incorporate apprentices within that? And where an apprenticeship might take a period of time, that future planning enables us to think about who do we need to train now and what will that look like in terms of securing positions for the future. A good example of that is where we've got in our maintenance teams, where we really think about utilising apprentices in a really strong way. So we've got a number of cohorts that take place in maintenance. Those individuals in particular are working at Stevenson College as the provider for apprenticeships, and what we use those apprentices for is doing their apprenticeship and then at the end of that ideally securing a job. So there's in the region of about 61% of our apprentices that have secured permanent positions within the organisation, so it really is a solid foundation for learning whilst earning and then finding a job at the end of it.
You know, a level 4 apprenticeship's quite high level, but SIPs are looking at doing a level 6 apprenticeship, and I'm hoping to get through and do that, and that's the equivalent of a degree. Before I joined Sanctuary, I knew that they valued apprentices, and it was important to me to know that there was a way up, and it wasn't just going to be stagnant. My proudest moment of my apprenticeship was securing my role as an assistant buyer. It was before I actually finished my apprenticeship, and I felt proud because it was, you know, a full-on proper interview against other people. It wasn't just a oh, you know, you can have the job, so it felt like I earned it.
One of the real positives about apprenticeship is there's no barrier about age, so it means that anybody of any age can complete an apprenticeship. So we have got school leavers completing apprenticeships, but also we've got staff within the organisation that are using an apprenticeship as a development opportunity. So they're employed in a particular role, they have identified that they want to do, for example, a degree, and so it means that they can do an apprenticeship whilst completing their normal role. So the great thing there is that we can use it really effectively, the apprenticeship route, so that people have got their permanent position, but also are completing an apprenticeship at the same time. One of the benefits to the organisation is that we're utilising the apprenticeship levy to cover the cost of that development, which is a real positive.
3 years and I've been getting paid. I get paid well now for what I do, and I won't be in any debt for any of my learning. It's all paid for by the company, so I'm in a very lucky position. It sort of almost sounds quite cringy and like the cliche sort of thing to say, but everyone's been brilliant with me since the day I joined, from having a specialised learning development team, but then even like the people in my team, they've just been brilliant with me.
It's a brilliant opportunity, and I'd absolutely encourage anybody to really look at apprenticeships if they're not already, and to really think about how they can utilise apprenticeships really effectively as part of their workforce planning and succession planning within their organisation.